First question, please.
Well, congratulations first on winning the Olympics, the gold medal. You carrying it with you here to the States, or do you have?
No, I didn't bring it with me. It's at home.
I'm sorry?
I didn't bring it with me. It's at home.
Any special place at home that you keep it?
No, well, I mean, I left pretty much the day after the final, so no, I didn't have time to put it anywhere special yet. But I will do when I get home.
Andy, do you feel reaching the finals of Wimbledon and winning the Olympics has lifted some sort of burden from you?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was obviously winning the Olympics is the biggest one in my career. That's for sure. It meant a lot to me. The Wimbledon final. I mean, that was the first time I'd been there. I was happy with the way I played there. It was obviously disappointing and a tough one to take for a few days afterwards. But I don't know. I mean, I feel confident in myself just now, and that's what's important.
Do you feel more confident coming into this than you ever have before?
No, I get asked that before every slam. Am I best prepared? Am I more confident? Always. You need to. You never know what's going to happen when you get out there on the court. I prepared well. I trained hard the last 5-6 days, so I'm ready to go.
But the momentum you get from Wimbledon to the Olympics, is that something that you can carry with you?
I don't know. I mean, a week in sport can be quite a long time, and it's been, a number of weeks since Wimbledon and a number of weeks since the Olympics as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'm still. I mean, the one thing it has given me is a bit more confidence, probably. But I needed to make sure that afterwards, I worked hard. That's the most important thing. Whether you're confident or not confident, providing you work hard and you do all the right things in training, then you'll get good results. So that was the most important thing, to make sure I kind of be on the ground and keep working hard and trying to improve.
Andy, you usually come here after good results in Canada and Cincinnati. What sort of effect will this year's results there have on the next fortnight?
Well, I didn't really play much in Toronto, so that. To be honest, I don't think it was going to have much bearing at all, because I've had enough practice now. Like going into Toronto and Cincinnati, I had no practice on the hard courts really. After Toronto, I had to take a few days off as well. So in some ways it was good. I got a few matches in probably, but I've played some of my best tennis in Australia when I've not really gone in there playing that many competitive matches beforehand. So long as I've trained well and practiced well, that's what gives me the most confidence. I went into Wimbledon this year having lost in the first round of Queens, and that was meant to be a horrible preparation, but Wimbledon worked out fine, so there's no reason why that can't happen here.
Andy, you say you've been training hard. How is your knee doing? Any hangover from the knee problem?
No, it's been fine. It was fine pretty much in Cincinnati. I felt like I was actually moving okay there. But no, I mean, I took 2-3 days off after Cincinnati as well, and we came to New York and just took a couple of days away from the guys, and just spent a couple of days on my own, just relaxing, and then started training again on I think Sunday night. I started training, and I've had no problems with it this week at all.
Andy, the US Open can be very overwhelming, with the crowds and a lot of distractions. So how do you keep your focus during an event like the US Open?
I mean, no, it can be challenging. It is very different to a lot of the Grand Slam, well, the other Grand Slams. It can be very different. I'm staying in a quieter hotel than usual this time, and just try and make sure I don't spend too much time around the courts, because it can be very busy, quite loud at the courts, especially the first week. So I just try and get out of here as quickly as possible, and just relax in the evenings, not spend too much time out and about, and that's the key for me anyway.
How does the elation of winning something as big as a gold medal manifest itself 3 or 4 weeks after the event? You still wake up in the morning and think, oh, Olympic champion, or do you just slot it away and move on to the next one?
It's definitely like that for a good week, 10 days afterwards. After Wimbledon, like 4 days after Wimbledon, I dreamt that I won Wimbledon, and I woke up in the morning and I was just starting to feel better, and that didn't help. And then a few days after the Olympics, I dreamt that I lost in the final of the Olympics, and obviously waking up remembering that I'd won was nice. That was when I was in Toronto. So yeah, you think about it a lot. But the thing with tennis, I think, especially, is because we have tournaments and things to look forward to in the not too distant future. Once you start getting on the match court again, you start to never forget about it. But that feeling is a bit different. You're nervous going into matches and preparing for events, and that takes your mind off what happened a few weeks ago.
Were you able to stay connected at all to the second week of the Olympics because you were away? Was it a bit of a shame you had to
I actually got to see very little of it, unfortunately. Yeah, I would have liked to have stayed and watched some of the other sports, and just not just to have been at home, to have been around my friends and family. Obviously, after a week like that, would have been nice, but wasn't to be, and I didn't really get to see that much the second week.
A lot has been written over the years about having the hopes of a nation on your shoulders and the belief. Here in this country, the perception is we don't have anybody put any hopes in. And are there any men on the American side who think have a shot at actually winning the hardware this year?
The last few years, a lot of the same guys have won the slams and been in the latter stage of the slams, especially the last few years. There's pretty much all of the American players are very dangerous because of their game style. Marty and Andy are obviously two of the older ones with more experience and have big serves, so when they play well, can be very, very tough to play against. And then Isner, he just won the tournament in Winston-Salem. Query was in the semis there, and he's had a very good summer. Winning it is incredibly tough. I know that. I know how hard it is to win. But those guys have big games, and if they can string together for a few matches, then they can get themselves deep in the event, and then anything can happen.
Andy, what sort of void is there without Rafa here?
Well, I think tennis misses him, that's for sure. But I still think the tournament will do well. I'm sure the crowds will still be very good, and tennis, I think, is in a very good place just now. But yeah, I think tournaments definitely miss him because he brings something different to a lot of the players on the tour, in terms of his character and his personality and the way he is on the court. The energy he brings to the match court is incredible. So tennis will definitely miss him while he's not playing.
Andy, you talked about the same guys making the latter stages of all the big tournaments lately, and for the first time in a long time, you're on the same half as Federer, having been almost exclusively on the same half as Nadal for a long time. How does that? I know obviously there's a lot of rounds to go before you meet him, but how does it feel different for you at all?
It doesn't feel different, really. It doesn't. It feels the same as any other slam to me. Going into the slams of the last couple of years, it's either been drawn in Rafa's half or Roger's half, and then last year it was either Rafa or Novak, and Australia this year I was drawn in Novak's half, and it makes very little difference to me.
Andy, just out of curiosity, have you had any dreams about the US Open lately?
Not yet, but I'll keep you posted.
You mentioned that you're in a calmer or quieter hotel. I know Ivan always talks about staying very calm at the big tournaments. Was that influenced by him?
No, I stayed in a lot of different hotels. over the 7 years or so I've been playing here, and yeah, I just decided to go for something a bit different. And you know, a lot of the a lot of the slams, you know, I have tried, especially the last few years, to stay somewhere where it's a little bit quieter, just because that's what I like. When I played well at Wimbledon, I stayed at home, and you know, it's normally fairly quiet where I live, and I like that. I like just being able to get back to the room and just be able to chill out. You know, obviously New York can be very very noisy if you're staying right in the middle of Manhattan. So that's why I decided to change this year.
When you were a bit younger, you used to get a bit of a kick of just walking around the streets of Manhattan. You were a bit more an element then as well. Can you still do that?
Yeah, I mean, I still do it when I had the few days off. I mean, I still go out and walk around a bit, do shopping, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I just when it gets closer and closer to the tournament, I try and stay, you know, out of the away from the streets and just in my own little bubble, I guess. And then yeah, when the tournament finishes, that changes. I still love coming here to visit. It's such a fun place to go.
When you're having your little walks, people sort of say, look at that, it's there. Do you get any sense?
Yeah, I think maybe more this year than probably I have had in the past. That's for sure.
Andy, as you know, Kim Clijsters has spoken at Wimbledon quite eloquently about the pressures that you face. When you think of Kim and consider the fact that she says this is her last major, what do you think Kim's legacy is?
Well, it depends how you're at. I mean, as a person, which is often is much more important than the tennis. I mean, she's a lovely person. I mean, I don't know her incredibly well, but every time I've seen her or been around her, she's been a lot of fun, very polite. You know, she's obviously loves her kids and her family. And then as a player, I mean, a great competitor. You know, I think she obviously had early in her career a lot of tough losses. She was always she was competing against Henin a lot. You know, so a lot of pressure came with that. She lost a lot of tough matches to Henin. And then she managed to turn that around and to do what she did after taking such a long break from the game and come back and win a slam or a couple of slams was pretty incredible to do what she's done. I'm sure she'll be remembered as one of the best players to have played over the last 15-20 years, and also one of the best people.
Okay, thank you very much.